In today's episode, we're going to talk about patience and how having patience can actually help us achieve our goals faster. A lot of times we think of patience as doing nothing. And I'm going to demonstrate over the course of this episode today how having patience is actually a really strong action that you can take towards achieving your goals and achieving your goals faster. Hello and welcome. My name is Danette Lowe, and this is Shine First Today, where we help you learn how to follow your own internal guidance system. Thank you for joining us. For the last few weeks, it seems like every time I turn around, I hear something about the word patience. I've heard it on several talks that I've listened to. I've seen it in books that I've read. And every time I hear that word patience, I'm like, yeah, I really need to think about that and explore that. In my other business as a financial advisor, I knew I needed to update my website. And this journey started about 4 years ago at the time when I decided to write the book that is going to be for Shine First. I wanted to write a book teaching people how to follow their own internal guidance system, which is what I use to help get over stress, anxiety, and panic attacks. And I thought it would be helpful, and I thought people would want to know how to do this. I don't know how to write a book, so I took a course on how to write a book. In the course, they taught us that you needed to have something called a platform in order to take a book to a publisher. And a platform is a website, an email list, and other things like that, your social media presence. As I took the class and I really learned about what building a platform was, I knew I needed it for my financial planning business. And that was, give or take, about 4 years ago. And here's what I knew. I knew that I wanted a website. I knew what it should look like. And I don't know how to program and create a website. I knew I had to hire someone. What has happened over the last 4 years is that I would hire someone, it didn't work out, and then I would meet with the next person, I would hire them, then I would get frustrated and take a break. And of course, we had COVID in the middle, so that does mess up the timeline a little bit. I went from person to person, team to team, to help me build this website, and they didn't work out. And I would love to sit here and say that it was because I hired people that were bad actors and they were incompetent, but it's not the case. What happened was I didn't have the patience to interview multiple people. I didn't have the patience to ask enough questions. It really cost, in terms of time, how long it's taken to get that website for my other business done. I realized as I look back on the past 4 years that every single situation was me being anxious and wanting to have the website done. And that was what caused me to jump into the next person and the next person without really taking the time to fully understand what the person was offering. Often I would have somebody come in, do a presentation, show me a beautiful website, and I would say, "You're hired." And I would have them send over a contract and pay. And I didn't take the time to read the contract, which was another really big mistake that I made. And it was really as a result of lack of patience. The other thing I did, which was really detrimental, was making assumptions and not taking time to meet with someone and really understand what it is that they were providing. For example, I assumed when you hire someone to do a website that the copywriting, the words on the website and the design of the website are the same, are done by the same person. And that's typically not the case. And it was my impatience, my wanting to get this website done so quickly that really caused all these problems. As time went by, the pressure to achieve that goal of having an updated website got stronger and stronger. And I think in a way it made me more careless and more impatient. I ended up hiring a designer that was way more expensive than any of the others I had hired because I thought, well, I'm just not putting enough money into this project. When that relationship failed, and it was an epic fail as it turned out, that was really not the solution. It was I did not take the time to understand what they were actually proposing. As time went by, I became more and more impatient. I understand from the current designer I'm working with that we're about 2 weeks to launch. So hopefully by the time you see this, the new redone website will be live, and we'll put a link to it in the description below so you can see it. I'm pretty happy with it. It's definitely way better than what it used to look like. The other area where patience comes into play is being impatient with others. One of the things that happened is you have certain standards for yourself, and we want certain things to happen, and we want certain things to happen a certain amount of time and in a certain way. And when others aren't meeting our expectations, we become impatient with them, which was certainly the case with me and some of the people I was working with on this deal. Was I became impatient. I was irritated that things were taking so long, and I wanted this thing to be done. And when we are impatient with others, others know it. They can hear it. They can sense it, and they can hear it in your tone. They can read between the lines in your emails. I think it actually can cause people to underperform. I think that when we're impatient and we have anxiety and we're wanting to get something done quickly, and we're counting on another person and we're displeased with what they're doing, I think it can actually make them underperform. I definitely think it does not bring out the best in others when our impatience with something happening is so obvious or shows through. And even if we think we're not being obvious, we probably are. The third area I wanted to talk about today is being impatient with ourselves when achieving our goals. One of the biggest downfalls I had in the project was I was really mad at myself. I had wanted to have a website updated for many years before I even started the project. I basically just ignored it. When I started to do it and I started to work on it, and then I didn't take the time needed to hire the right person, that's when I was really mad at myself and impatient with myself and beat myself up quite a bit because this thing that I wanted to get done wasn't getting done. In all three of the things that we talked about today, none of those helped move the project forward. So when I dove in and hired somebody without doing a proper interview, without reading the contract, without taking the time to clarify my assumptions, then the relationship with the vendor failed because I didn't take the time in the beginning to understand what I was purchasing. It is not their fault at all that I was in such a hurry and I didn't take the time. When I'm impatient with others, or we are impatient with others, then that can cause them to do a poor job. They might do perfectly good for 9 of their other clients, but when it comes to working on your project, there's so much tension that they may underperform, and that ends up taking your project more time. The same thing is when you beat yourself up. there's no value to beating yourself up. It doesn't help anything when you're impatient with yourself because you haven't achieved a goal that is probably arbitrary. We set goals and we want to make them SMART goals. I was taught this in a class that SMART stands for specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time-bound. It's that time-bound thing that's kind of the killer when it comes to having patience, because we put an arbitrary timeline on something we want to achieve, and then we beat ourselves up when we don't have it by that certain time period, which was arbitrary to begin with. And so that is kind of a waste of our time, a waste of our energy. It brings us down and it doesn't do anything for us. For this business, for Shine First Today, I found a lovely woman. Her name is Margaret Cogswell, Margaret Cogswell Designs. I met her through my friend Virginia, who produces these podcasts for me. I met with her and I said, I need a website for Shine First. We sat down, got together. She got my vision, she got it down, and she delivered in about 6 weeks the most perfect website that I could have ever wanted. Why was it so fast? Well, probably because I had already done so much legwork on the other website where I understood the differences now. I knew to read the contract. I had multiple meetings with her in the beginning so that I could fully understand. Where in the financial planning business, that website, that was a 4-year process, which is, again, still not quite done as of the minute of this recording. With Shine First Today, it was about an 8-week process total, including creating a logo and all of that. And not putting pressure on myself was the key. So in a big way, having patience is actually a form of taking action. I know that in our action-oriented world, it can seem like being patient and taking your time to do something can be like doing nothing, like not taking action. So you set a goal for yourself and you want something to happen in your life. You want to improve your business. You want to do something in your home. You want to, whatever that goal might be. Sometimes doing nothing is the strongest action you can take so that the universe can help align the pieces that you need to have to make that goal happen so much faster. As in my case, it took a lot of steps for me to actually meet Margaret, who did the website in such a beautiful way. It took a lot of steps for me to meet Virginia, who produces the podcast for both businesses. It was kind of the magical way the universe works, how I met these people, and the patience that I have now, or that I've learned in terms of like going forward, is just invaluable. So I wanted to share that with you. I hope you found some value in that. So I'd love to know if you experienced a time in your life where you had a lack of patience and how you handled it. What did you do? Please let us know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this episode, please hit the like button and also take a moment to subscribe. And you might like to see another episode called Getting Triggered and How to Handle It. We'll link to that here. I wish you the very best. I hope you have an amazing day, and I look forward to seeing you soon. Thank you. If you're looking for more support on your journey and you want to join a lovely community of like-minded people, please head over to our website at shinefirsttoday.com. At the website, we have a number of resources to help guide you on your journey. I'm sending you light and love. I hope you have an amazing rest of your day. Thank you so much for joining us, and I look forward to seeing you in the next episode.